What is a cancer thriver? Someone who affirms life despite having cancer. And maybe even a little more because of having cancer. Well, I didn't invent the term. I think I saw it somewhere and it just really resonated, and I sort of Googled it up a little bit, and I was like, well, why isn't everyone calling themselves a cancer thriver? And I just decided to kind of take that on. When you hear that you have cancer, for most people, it's one of the most devastating things that you'll hear. And a lot of us are stuck in what cancer used to mean. 10, 20, 30 years ago, it meant you're gonna die soon. And cancer has changed. There's so many new treatments. Now there's a lot of women and men walking around there who are cancer survivors, and they're totally thriving. They're living their lives. What cancer is for Cancer Thriver, it's 3 things, and one of them is kind of a wake-up call, and I think of it as a bell. Here's my little bell, my for show and tell. For me, cancer was a bell of mindfulness. It was a reminder that life is finite. It's awful, but it has a blessing too, in that thinking about mortality can wake you up. Literally can wake you up in the middle of the night thinking about it, but it can also wake you up emotionally and spiritually and professionally. So the second part for me is what happens when you wake up. Life is short. What am I going to spend my time on? What ended up happening is I kind of reinvented myself. That never would have happened if I hadn't had the cancer diagnosis. I would still be probably, spinning my wheels in maybe a nonprofit job that wasn't a fit. And then the last thing for me about Cancer Thriver, there's all this great research now that being active, like being physically active, helps prevent many forms of cancer, including breast cancer. If you have breast cancer after your first diagnosis, you're like 30% less likely to have a recurrence. And for me, joyful exercise makes me feel better. My doctor said I had to stop rollerblading. Man, that was a bummer. I love to rollerblade. I rollerbladed to my wedding. But I discovered, visiting my sister in Hawaii, I discovered stand-up paddling. And I just knew this was this magical thing. I had to try it. And I tried it, and I loved it way even more than I predicted I would have. Cancer helped give me the bravery, not just to try it, but then liking it so much to actually really pursue it and do it in a wholehearted way. Because again, life is short, and cancer is a reminder, spend more of your time doing what you love.